Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing our lesson a little bit differently. You will be working on Edpuzzle where you will be watching the video lesson and then answering questions as you go. Today our lesson is about equivalent numbers, and your assignments that you will have to work on are math boxes and HomeLink. Those will be on Kami. And then you will play Name That Number on the Everyday Math website. So our objective for today is I can use all four operations to generate equivalent names for numbers. So when we say four operations, we are talking about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we're looking at different ways to generate equivalent names using those four operations. All right, so we're going to get ready to do some quick dots. And remember, with quick dots, you're going to see a group of dots arranged in some pattern. And you are going to see them very quickly. You will not see them very long, but you are going to figure out how many dots are there and then what kind of number sentence can go with those quick dots. So get ready. I'm getting ready to show you the first set. It'll go very quickly, and then think about how many dots. All right, so when you look at those dots, you're going to be able to see a certain number, and I want to look at them. This one we would say is 9 because there are 3 rows of 3. So we could think of it as 3 plus 3 plus 3, or you could think of it as 3 times 3. All right, let's look at a second one. Very quickly, get ready for it. Think about how you would determine how many dots are here, what number model could go with it. All right, so good job. For a math message, I want you to think about what is the same with all of these problems. So we have 2 plus 12, 7 times 2, 15 minus 1, 24 minus 10, 1 dozen, and 2 more. So I want you to be thinking about what are some of these, what is the same about all of these problems. And you're going to be coming up with another problem that belongs with these. So you should have answered that all of these equal 14. So when I look at this, I can see that 2 plus 12 is 14. 7 times 2, if I count by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, I get the answer 14. 15 minus 1, 14. 24 minus 10, 14. 1 dozen is 12, and 2 more is 14 as well. So what other way can we make 14? All right, so we're going to be continuing to talk about equivalent names. In mathematics, an expression is made up of numbers and symbols, but does not have a greater than, less than, or equal sign in that expression. The problems in the math message were all expressions. So when I look at these, none of these problems have an equal sign. It is just the two numbers with the operation. So 2 plus 12, 7 times 2, 15 minus 1, 24 minus 10. None of those have a greater than, less than, or equal sign. All of the expressions on that previous page were equal to 14. They are all equivalent or equal. So that word equivalent means they are all equal. Today we're going to be discussing how to find equivalent names for numbers using a name collection box. So many of you guys have used name collection boxes to show the different values of the numbers. So in this case, it is 14. And a lot of us have used maybe tally marks. So we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, messed that one up. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 goes across. 13, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14. Whew, can't count. Having problems with that. So you could do tally marks. We could do arrays where we could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We could do money. So we could do dime is 10, penny, 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 penny. That would be 14. But I want to focus today on using equations. So rather than drawing out different ways to show 14, we are going to be writing different equations. So one equation that we could write is 14 plus 0. That equals 14. I don't need to put equals 0. I'm just going to say 14 plus 0. That's my equation. I could do 7 times 2. That equals 14, but I'm not going to put equals 14. I could do 6 plus 8. That equals 14. So far, I have used 2 addition, 1 multiplication, and I want to try to use all of my number sentences or all of my operations. So I'm going to think about, well, I want to do a subtraction. My number has to be bigger than 14. So what if I said 20 minus 6? That equals 14. I also want to come up with a division problem, and I'm thinking about if I divide by 2 as my division problem. Well, in order to know how many to start with, I need to maybe do my opposite. So I have to know what 14 doubled is. So I would do 14 plus 14, and that is 28. So my equation that I can put in my number box is 28 divided by 2. That equals 14. You are going to continue to add to this box. What are some other ways to make 14? So one of the things that I want to look at very briefly, this is in your SRB. This can be found online. If you go to the Everyday Math website, and on your first page you have your books, the student resource book or SRB is on the front page. So name collections can name any number written in a bunch of different ways. Different names for the same number are called equivalent names. A name collection box is a diagram that is used to write names for the same number. So in this name collection box below, we have 8 written in a bunch of different ways. So they wrote 8 as in a multiplication sentence. They wrote 8 as 2 times 4. They wrote 8 as tally marks. 8 divided by 1, because anything divided by 1 is going to be that other number. They wrote it in an array. 8 minus 0, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. 8 over 1 as a fraction. The word 8 written out in ocho is Spanish for 8. These are all different ways to write 8. To form an equivalent name, you can also, remember this is what we're focusing on today, add, subtract, multiply, divide. So we're using all 4 operations. You can use tally marks or arrays, or you can write the words out. So this box shows you 57. and they actually use base 10 cubes to help us to see 57. This has a little bit more examples of how to use name collection boxes if you were to look at it. All right. Some other things that we might see with name collection boxes is we need to find numbers that do not belong. So in this problem, my name that I'm finding is 18. I want to find all of the images or all of the numbers that name 18. For the ones that don't, I cross them out. So this first one, 9 plus 9 is 18. That works. 10 plus 8 is 18. 2 plus 9 is 11. 1 10 and 6 ones is 16. This array has a 3 by 6. 3 times 6 is 18. I could stop and count all of them. 20 minus 8 is 12. 18 times 1 is 18. 2 dozen. 1 dozen is 12, so if I have 2 dozens, I would have 24. 9 times 2 is 18. 3 plus 3 plus 3, well, 3 plus 3 is 9, plus 3 more is 12. Half of 36 is 18. I could draw 2 circles and split 36 into all of them, or into both of them, until I would see what I have, and it would be 18. This is a long, so that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is 16. Now, my name collection boxes need to be all the same. I have some in here that do not belong. So I know that 11 does not. So the 9 plus 2 does not work. The 1 plus 6, or 1 10 and 6 ones, 16 does not work. We're going to look at what other ones do not work. You should have marked off 20 minus 8, 2 dozen, 3 plus 3 plus 3, and the base 10 one that added 16. We are left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers that are equivalent to 18. All right, looking in your math journal, you are going to be on page 96. You are going to be writing out some names for different numbers. And on this one, I want you to use addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So number 1 says write at least 10 names in the box. 10. Make sure you're following directions. So I'm going to start off with an addition, 10 plus 10. I want to have a subtraction, 20 minus 0. I want to have a multiplication, 4 times 5. I want to have a division, 40 divided by 2. What are some other names that could go in this box? Number 2 says, 3 names do not belong in this box. Cross them out. Then write the name on the of the box in the tag. So we have to cross out 3 names, but we also have to give the name in the tag. So I'm going to have to go through and figure out what everything is. So I see this one, 14. I like to write the number out. 10 plus 6 is 16. 10 less than 26 is 16. 10 minus 6 is 4. Let's count this array. So I see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, a 4 by 4. So that is 16. 2 8s is 16. 4, 8, and then 12. Half of 32 is 16. And 10 plus 2 is 12. Minus 4 is 8. Plus 6 is 14. Minus 8 is 14 minus 8 is 6, plus 10 is 16. So I'm looking at this and I can see that I have 14, 16, 16, 16, 12, 16, 16, 4, and 16. So I think my number is going to be 16. And I have to cross off the ones that do not belong. I'm going to cross off 14, 4, or 10 minus 6, and I'm going to cross off 4 plus 4 plus 4. All right, you are going to work on this on your own. You're going to write at least 10 names for 24, and then make up your own. You're going to pick your number that you want and write 10 different names. All right, so let's recap what we have to do. We are going to be finishing up that page in your book, but then you're also going to be doing math boxes in your Cami page in Canvas. You're going to be doing a home link in Canvas, and then you will be playing Name That Number.